A 5-minute call. James Shaw.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise to speak to the Telecommunications Development Levy Amendment Bill and to agree with virtually all of the previous speakers on this bill. So what does it do? What does the bill do? It increases the existing levy. It extends the Rural Broadband Initiative and it creates a mobile black spots fund. Now, the ultra-fast broadband rollout around New Zealand has not been smooth over the last few years, but it is critical. So while it's had its kind of rough spots, it is incredibly important that it continues and that it gets completed. That is because ultra-fast broadband is absolutely critical to a critical piece of New Zealand's economic infrastructure. I've just spent most of the last 10 weeks travelling around places like Northland, Gisborne, New Plymouth, Whakatane, the Coromandel, the Whanganui, down to Invercargill, incredibly remote places around New Zealand. And the divide between our rural and provincial towns and our main urban centres is enormous. And if they do not have access to broadband, it is going to get worse and worse and worse. And as my colleague Gareth Hughes said, that is because the internet provides us not just with economic infrastructure, but with access to educational opportunities, to healthcare opportunities, to the ability to connect with one another. In terms of the economy, of course, the digital economy is, how are we going to get to a sustainable, smart, green economy that the Green Party has been talking about for years and years and years. The idea of weightless exports, where we can earn huge amounts of revenue without having to transport heavy goods or pollute the environment or degrade the environment. And given the tyranny of distance that New Zealand has historically been subjected to, this is absolutely critical piece of infrastructure for us. I'll also just say something about the mobile black spots. So in addition to the safety component to it, this is a really significant tourism issue. So an increasing portion of our tourism dollars are coming from particularly China and East and South Asia, where the expectation is that you are connected all the time. And so it is actually not meeting our tourists' expectations that they're travelling around parts of New Zealand and they cannot connect to the internet, to Facebook, to be able to post the photos and so on. And of course that word of mouth gets back to their home countries and it weakens our reputation in the tourism sector. But most significantly, as I was saying before, this is about the rural economy and our ability to develop in areas where we currently have a massive divide, and not getting this piece of infrastructure in place will make it even worse. As my colleague Gareth Hughes said, we do have some concerns about the bill. It does seem odd to us that the government's currently consulting on how it will spend the money and is passing a bill under urgency for raising the money that it's currently trying to work out how to spend. That does seem like putting the cart before the horse. But we can work with that because we do believe that this is so important to get through. Having said that, it does seem odd that it's being passed under urgency. There doesn't seem to be any real need for it to get passed tonight. It could go through a proper process of evaluation through the Select Committee process and so on. We will be putting two SOPs later on during the debate about promoting competition, promoting diversity in the system and exploring new technologies as well. And a second SOP, which is to prevent telcos from having two bites of the cherry. So we do hope that those will get accepted and that they will improve the bill, given that it is passing through urgency so quickly after the budget. But overall, Mr Speaker, we do support this bill and we commend it to the House.
Oh, Chris Fafoy.